Sourcely doesn't just start with keywords in a search box, it actually starts with your writing. In this series, I'm doing a walkthrough of different academic tools so you can see exactly how they work, what they do, and decide whether they fit into your workflow. Now in this walkthrough, I'll show you exactly how Sourcely works, how to search, cite, export, and organize your references. And I'll also show you exactly where I think it fits into your workflow, where the tool stops and where you take over. Now, normally, literature review tools begin with keywords or research questions and then build out the context for you. And you can do all of that with Sourcely, but as it's primarily a citation search tool, it's built to find citations based on either the specifics of your research idea or grounded in a piece of writing. So you start by giving as much context as you can or pasting something that you're already working on, and it builds outward from there. Sourcely then scans the text and flags the sentences that look like they need citations. These are grouped into citation-worthy text highlights that you can see highlighted here in blue. Linked to each of these, you'll see a short list of suggested papers tied directly to each claim. So if you write something like human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, are widely recognised as the primary driver of greenhouse gas emissions, Sourcely does a semantic search grounded in the whole text to bring up studies that address that topic. If you want more precision or something gets left out, then you can highlight the text yourself and find sources, papers, chapters, etc. based on that individual sentence. So you don't have to start the search right from the beginning, you can just add them as you go. You can also head to the bottom of the literature search and hit show me more sources to keep the citation search going and find more papers. That really is the strength of this writing first model. So instead of me limiting my ideas to a keyword string, I stay in the flow of writing and the tool adapts the search to suit your needs. Now then, let's quickly look at the tools that help you refine your search. So on the side of the search button, you'll see filters. Now these are obviously what fine-tune the result into something that you actually need. Of course, if you're looking for the most recent papers, or perhaps doing a chronological literature review, then you might want to limit your search by year. You can also base it on the popularity or influence of the paper by choosing a minimum number of citations, although I would be cautious in more niche fields about using that filter. You can also look for specific databases or websites such as Nature. You can filter it by keywords using both inclusion and exclusion criteria, something that I don't think I've seen before, and choose a document type. After you've completed your search and applied all of the filters that you want, the next stage is the citation. So each suggested paper here shows what you need to know to make an informed decision. So the title, authors, the source, the year, and the number of citations. Plus, if you click the summary button here, it will also generate a short summary of the paper. Now that takes about 20 seconds or so, and then you get a keywords in bold. Altogether, it means that you can very quickly see whether a paper is worth actually opening and whether it can support your research. Once you choose a paper, you actually have three options. So you can either export the paper individually by hitting export and then copying and pasting the citation. You've got all of the usual suspects there, MLA, APA, Harvard, or if we go back, you can save the citation to a folder. So if you hit create a new folder, then give a name and hit your library button, and then store your paper on different folders and export all of those papers together. Alternatively, you can go back to the report and export all of the papers in the report together, which then gets sent to your email once it's ready. So I'd recommend using the library feature, especially if you're working on several different projects. So you might, for example, have a different folder for each paper that you're writing, or if it's a larger project, you might have different folders based on different parts of a dissertation or thesis. Now, keeping that sort of organization means you're going to end up with a mini database for each paper so that you can keep your mind less busy and stay organized. Obviously, generating a neat list of citations and folders of papers doesn't mean that the job is done. This tool is very useful for contextualizing your literature search and supporting citation generation. While it improves the relevance of that search and the summary gives you a really good starting point for filtering out papers that aren't relevant, it doesn't actually know whether a particular study is the right one for my argument or do a quality check on those papers. Plus, reading the research is the whole point, so I still need to hit the source button, read the paper properly, and make sure that it supports the claim that I'm making. And this is one of those points where a tool like Sourcely stops and you take over. So that closes the loop then. We've got search, filter, cite, organize, and export. Before I talk about the discount code, I want to talk about where I think Sourcely best fits into an academic workflow. So where I see some of the main use cases. Firstly, starting with a brief overview of the question or field that you're looking at. So you could paste in a paragraph, keywords, research question. Let Sourcely evaluate the words in context and then choose your papers. Secondly, you can also use it to backfill your writing, find potential sources that you might have missed. This is where the writing first approach really comes into its own, doing that final sweep before submission. So get your citations, check for uncited claims or new references, and then improve your writing before you hit submit. Think of it as another way to approach your literature search in addition to your university library, Google Scholar, and other databases. And this helps you search smarter in context and organize your papers before you export your bibliography. Now, it's also worth noting that Sourcely also puts effort into building resources around the tool itself. So on the site, you'll find guides, different articles on things like research paper outlines, the differences between narrative and systematic reviews, and practical tips for improving your workflow. I always like it when tools do this because it shows they're not just throwing a tool at you, they're also providing materials to help you think critically about your process, to self-reflect and improve. If you've used Sourcely yourself, let me know in the comments how it works for you. If you haven't, then there's a discount code for 20% off a monthly plan and 40% off a yearly plan in the description of the video to get you started. And don't forget to subscribe to the PhD Plays for more walkthroughs of academic tools and writing strategies. And as always, good luck with your research. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more academia related content, then please subscribe to the PhD Place YouTube channel.